All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Organic Fitness Podcast with your host, me, Colman Power. Who else would it be? We're going to be touching on in this episode the fact about two topics: positivity and gratefulness. Especially at this moment in time, a lot of people are wondering and asking me the question on a regular basis: Coleman, you're always so happy, you're always smiling, and I'm just going to give you a brief kind of run through of my background. And currently, I'm 30 years old. My, I suppose, position where I came from was a country family based in Waterford, south of Ireland, and the fact that I had a younger brother and I have an older sister, mother and father, who were both psychiatric nurses, and in my eyes worked extremely hard at 12-hour shifts on opposites. So there's always someone at home. When we were growing up, going to school, I was most definitely one of the smallest kids going, and would have found it extremely difficult to be in class and keep my attention due to a learning difficulty, as dyslexia was labeled as. But I've been also told very recently to switch it up and put a positive spin on it, to say I learn differently. And that's something that I also incorporate into my lifestyle. The words that you use are so important on a daily basis for your mindset, for your overall health and well-being. And that's something that I've learned along the time, because you learn every day, and every day that you don't learn is a missed opportunity. And when I was in school, being put in the second lowest class and being a small individual, that sure as hell didn't help my confidence or help me being positive, because being graded isn't something that I want people to put themselves into either a category or rate themselves out of, or comparing themselves to anybody else. Because when you compare yourself to somebody else, what you end up doing is you take away, it's a comparison syndrome, and you take away the joy of what you do currently have. And I say that to myself, I say that to people that I train, I say to people that I mentor. It's key. And when I was in school, the fact is I was sporty. I wanted to be a baller. I wanted to be a hurler. But I played football. I did athletics. I was on the chess club. Well, for the reasons that I literally knew that it was a day out of school, and my mother and father being nurses, I knew that if I was even trying to be sick, they wouldn't even leave me stay at home. So that was the fact that I missed one day, I think, in total of the 6 years in school. My brother and sister missed none. And even the one day that I did miss, it was really, really sick. I was lying in bed and I was like, "Mom, I want to go in," but I wasn't allowed. So what ended up happening then was, all the time when I was trying to get on the sports teams, I found it difficult because I wasn't as good as I should have been. I was lacking in skill, but I didn't lack in heart. And when I was 18, going into college or university, my dad bought me a gym membership. So that was something where I loved, due to the fact that what you put in is what you get out. I put in 100%. My commitment never failed. It was always there. If I just found it very simple, because when someone tells me some beneficial piece of information, I put it into practice. I don't wait for someone else to say, "Oh, that might be good. Maybe we should try that." But the fact is that what I get told and what I know, then as a result of putting in an effort, I get a result. Because the thing is, if you put in 100% in your training and in your foods, you'll get 100% back. And I absolutely love that about health and fitness and food. When you put it into practice, you get it back in abundance. But there are other areas in my life, and which one of the reasons why I'll touch on, the likes of relationships. If you put in 100% in a relationship, that's only 50% of that. There's another person involved, and 50 and 50 doesn't meet, it doesn't make up 100. If one person puts in 50 and the other person puts in only 20, that's only 70%. And that's just my sixpence on, I suppose, me being a single man in his 30s. And what I have to touch on is, I'm happy because I am spending, I'm not focusing enough time on relationships, but it's something that I'm trying to improve on. And the fact is that you'll always want the things that you don't have. And that's important to remember that too. It's striving for improvements, not perfection, in whatever area that you're looking to improve on. Okay. And I want to touch on then the likes of people that, and how people that I've met along the way have really helped me in relation to being a happier and being a healthier individual. It's really what I want to put out there, that the people you hang around with, the information that you consume is essential. Because if you're listening to doom and gloom, if you watch the news from morning, noon, and night, and someone asked me there very recently, they say, Colman, I said, what? Did you hear the numbers? And I said, of the lotto. And that's the whole thing about it. I don't focus in on what I can't control right now. I don't have a television, or I haven't had television for 5 years. And I sure as hell I'm not missing out, because if you tell me tomorrow something that I'm missing that's on television, I'll get it. I'll buy it straight away. You call me, you text me, you WhatsApp me, Instagram me, TikTok, DMs, Facebook, I'll get it. But the fact is that during the times that I take away from television or screen time, it's using that to my best ability to learn and benefit from consuming information, from books that I find extremely hard to read. And I buy audiobooks on a regular basis. I'll buy the hard book. If I really like it, underline it then as it's being read out to me. That makes it extremely easier for me. And I recommend people to do the same with the audiobooks, because you can do two things at once. Whether you're driving to work, use your car as a library on wheels. It's the tip of the century. You can listen to any area that you want to improve on, whether it be your nutrition knowledge, whether it be your training, whether it be listening to me. Listen to me. And other than that, I couldn't rate it enough, because the more information that you consume and then put into practice, the better you will be as a determinant of you are the average of the people and the information that you consume. Because if you consume a high percentage of doom gloom, if you consume more positivity, more of the things that you can do, and I only tell people and talk about things that you can do. I can't control externally what's going on around the world. I can only help you with your fitness and your foods and your thoughts, because those are things that you can control. And when you get a better understanding of that and grab it with both hands and start doing things that benefit you, you will be a better, a healthier, a happier individual as a result of that. And I love fitness, because when you improve on your fitness, when you improve on your health, you then improve on your confidence. And who doesn't want to look better, feel happier, and as a result of that, be more confident? Chest out, shoulders back. It's a lot about posture as well. That's important. And it's about telling yourself that you can, because the person who tells yourself that they can and the person who says that they can't are both right. But the thing is, it's a mindset. You have to be positive. And being positive isn't easy. I'm not telling you this is easy to do. And it's about like putting in the reps, putting in the time, because you have to do it. Nobody else can do this for you. Nobody else can make the healthy food choices. Nobody else can listen to the books, listen to the information, and put you in the position to do the training and gain the advantage of it. Because you cannot gain the advantage of something you do not do. And you have to put in time to train. You have to buy the food. You have to cook it. The whole idea of it is, you want to improve, you have to do it. It's a massive thing. And understanding that is key. It's so important. And for those people that said, I've tried everything to lose weight, you haven't. Because if you did, you'd have the answer. Okay. I want to tone up. I've tried everything. Nothing's working for me. I've done intermittent fasting. I've done the likes of, I'm on a diet and I've lost weight, but what ended up happening was I put it all back on. And for those people, I'll touch on what I would say is, if you have lost weight in the past and you put it back on, that's as a result of it not being sustainable. You have to build habits, you have to build systems, and it has to be a lifestyle that you can do long term. Because if you don't do that, you can do a 6-week juice diet and lose weight, because that's exactly what happens. You get yourself into a calorie deficit, but you can't drink juice for the rest of your life. You can, but it might be extremely difficult and something I don't recommend. And that's what you need to realize, that fitness is not just for 6 weeks. It's not just for 90 days. It's for life. And you need to put in what works for you. And that what you can do is try different things and ask the right questions and to the right people. And when you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. What kind of food suit me? And I don't want people specifically to pick a diet. You can, and I train vegans, I train vegetarians, I train people are on the paleo diet and the standard diet. I trained some Italians, I trained a lot of Irish people and Americans and Canadians. And what I want people to do is don't just take out something out of your diet just because somebody else told you to do it. There are traditions in Ireland, such as fish on a Friday, that I enjoy with family members and on my own, living on my own at this current moment in time. And bread is another thing. It's a tradition in our family. My grandmother has always cooked home baked bread, which is unbelievable. And for someone to say to me that if I wanted to be keto, they nail you up here, put you on a cross and tell you, that's it. You can't come outside that box. That's it. No bread for you. Or to be labeled as a vegetarian or a vegan, that you couldn't ever again have meat or eggs. And I've done vegan, I've done keto, I've done vegetarian, and I totally enjoyed it. I learned loads about nutrition and food. And those are the things that I pass on to people, because what actually it is as a coach and as a mentor, it's knowledge and it's practice about foods. And I want people to really, really nail down what works for them. You can pick any diet you like. You can, and that's what I want you to do. Pick things that suit you, because no two people are the same. And then the quote that comes to mind is, a shoe is never the right fit and never the right price if it's not the right fit. Okay, people say, oh, I have a super deal for you here. It's flashy numbers, triangles, stars, flashy cards. But the thing is, don't pay for something that you don't want to do long term or go commit to, because your health and your fitness is your wealth. I'm a firm believer in that, and I do love being healthy and being fit, because it's the life and bread of being happy. Because when you're healthy, you're happy, and because money doesn't sure as hell make you happy. That's 100% for sure. All right, and go on to like the tips for being more positive. And what I do on a regular basis is, each and every day, as a coach, it might be, I suppose, the done thing, but even for each and every individual who listens to this podcast, it's making one person feel a little bit better about themselves. And how do you do that? Like, it doesn't have to be a massive thing. It doesn't have to be anything outrageous, but it has to be even just a simple compliment. Like, you look good today. You're looking good, man. You're looking good in that dress, in those clothes. That's a healthy looking meal. Fair play to you. You're starting to get on the healthy buzz. It doesn't have to be in January. It doesn't have to be in February, March. Don't wait for the weekend to say it. Say it straight away the next time you meet somebody. Give them a smile. Give them a wink. Everybody loves it. It's just passing on and making someone feel even 1% better than they did before they met you. Come into the conversation with a small upbeat tone, as opposed to morning, whether it be on Zoom or, how are you guys? It's my first coffee. And I have tea in front of me, and it's not coffee. See that there, essential. And the other thing is, give someone a hand. Like, if you know that somebody's struggling, and it doesn't have to be, it can be physical. You can call over, you're in your range. The fact is, they'd love and appreciate, and as a result of that, you get a closer bond, and people that are connected with people are going to inevitably be happier. And I love, again, the thing is, I want people to give off what you most want back. And I want people to be happier. I want people to be healthier. I want people to eat local, fresh, and organic produce. Why? Because it's the gold standard. It's not only beneficial for us, but it's also beneficial for the environment, the soil. It's the best thing that's out there. Using regenerative agriculture and methods to grow food, whether it be meat, whether it be fruit, whether it be vegetables. It's just like, I wish I could show you it, like the goosebumps on my hand. I live and breathe being happy and being healthy. And it comes off the back of being and doing it on a consistent basis. There isn't anything I won't do for optimal health. And I'll do anything for anybody. I'll stay up later and help them make healthy food choices and make a positive thought, because sometimes people are right now are struggling with that. I get up even earlier than I do, because I typically have a routine of, this also helps with my sleep, is going to bed at a certain time, and being strict with it, and getting up at a certain time and the same time during the weekends as well. And that just really helps with my overall energy levels, which then as a result of that makes me be more productive, and people that are more productive are also happier. And that's key too. And that's suiting me and my lifestyle, but I help people to also factor that into their day. And then we go on to what you could call how to be more grateful. And being grateful, I suppose, is something that is a little more difficult right now due to the fact that what situation we're in, and there's a load of things that we can't do. But don't ever focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. And I always bring it back to the most simplest point. I'm a simple, might be even an old school man. The power of the pen. It's what you have up here in your head is important to write down. And when you write things down, it gets clear on what's up there, coming back down to a piece of paper, and then coming back up to your eye. And that's kind of the circle, or even the triangle, you could call it. But what I do is I get people to write down. This is what I do is what I recommend: the foods that I eat, the lifestyle that I live, the training that I do, and the habits that I build in being more positive and grateful. I get people to write down, all right, 3 things that they're grateful for. And they can be small things. And write them down either in the start of the day or the end of the day. It's either getting you off to an absolute winner or setting you up thinking more positively going to bed. Because the thoughts that you think about going to bed are reinforced as you sleep. And putting yourself in that mind frame is only going to have a knock-on effect into the people that you meet. And writing down maybe someone that you've met, or writing down you're living with friends. And those are actually 2 things that I just want to touch on. Firstly, those are 2 things that I don't have. I don't have a significant other, being a single man, and I don't live with friends. I live on my own. I live in the country. I'm extremely far away from other people. But the thing is, whatever you have, you'll always want the things that you don't currently own or have. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for an improvement. It's not imperfection ever. And to say that, Colman, what you have everything. I don't have everything. And I'm improving on areas in my life, such as my relationships with family members and with significant others. And I'm improving on it. I'm trying it. And it's not perfect, and that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be better. And it's the compound effect of doing one thing, putting the jar, the euro coin, the dollar coin in the item, the place that I want to improve on every day. Whether it's for you, it's one training session, whether it's one positive mindset, whether it's one healthy food choice, whether it's one more step in the right direction to improving your relationship or trying to get into a relationship. What do you do? Because what you do every day determines what you get. You need to put in the steps. You need to put in the reps to get a result out the other side of it. And nothing happens by chance. And this being grateful thing can be a small item of, it's dry today. I get to clock up my steps in the sun. I'm out there. Yes, I get to meet that individual today. We're going to the shops, give them a fist pump, give them an elbow on a winner, make a joke, smile at someone, and you have a job. So a lot of people don't have jobs right now. They're out of a job. You're focusing in on trying to get one, being grateful for being able to train. A lot of people find it difficult to train and don't even have the mind frame, or don't have a coach such as myself or anybody else for that matter. The fact is, if you're able to be grateful for as many things as you possibly can, but a minimum of 3 will set you up for happiness, and being a healthier individual comes off the back of that. And I suppose my tip for being more grateful is not to search for external happiness. Because if you're searching for external happiness, whether it be a car or a house or a certain amount of money, those things are always not going to serve you, because happiness comes from within. It comes from you and your thoughts. And when you realize that money doesn't make you happy, or a car doesn't make you happy, because when you get those things, it's kind of the idea that, oh, when I get those, I'll be happy when I have a house, or a certain amount of money in the bank account, or a certain amount, a certain car, whether it is you saved up for it. The thing is, I'm a firm believer in the things that I have right now that are worth a certain amount of money, whether it be the laptop that's in front of me, whether it be the phone, the Samsung, the Huawei phone that I currently have, or the car that I do have, or the Echo, or all the money in my bank account. I could get those things and taken away from me, and I'd still be the same individual that I am today. I'd be upset. I'll tell you what, I'd be pretty damn upset if someone took my car, my laptop, my phone. But the thing is, they're external. I'm a happy individual because of the thoughts that I think. I'm a happy individual because I'm grateful for people that I train and that I mentor and that I connect with. And I've got major help along the way. I've got mentors, I've got coaches. And what I do is I do things that are meaningful to me. I have a business that provides people with value to be healthier, to be happier. And that also helps me be more positive, because that's my area of helping at least one person every single day, Monday to Friday, 365 days a year. And in the days that I'm not working, I can also connect with family members and friends to pick them up, because everybody needs a pick me up and everyone needs a virtual high five. And I suppose the more that you do to make yourself happier and not searching for external gratification or buying those things such as the new latest gym gear, new shoes, new string tops, and all those things are nice and those are great, and they might be little pick-me-ups along the way, but not to strive for the likes of those things to improve on your overall happiness, because it's happiness that comes from within. And I'm a firm believer in that. Surround yourself with positive information, surround yourself with beneficial people that give you energy as opposed to take it away. I like to call it emotional vampires, because if you're listening to or have friends or family members that are extremely negative, minimize or reduce down your contact with them as much as you possibly can for optimal health. And I suppose that's my viewpoint, and that's my tips and strategies that I currently use in relation to people being more positive and being more grateful. And putting it into practice is the final point that you need to do. Because if you're not putting this information into your daily habit or into your daily routine, it's not worth the piece of paper it's written on. So I suppose that's the end of the show. I just like to say thanks very much for tuning in, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching it on Instagram or social media platforms. And it's also available on Stitcher's podcast. I'd highly appreciate it if you could even just share with one other person to get it out there, because that's what this is about. It's about building a community, about people who are looking to improve. And it's only if they want to improve, because it's another quote that comes to mind, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If they're looking to get a little bit of knowledge in relation to their fitness or their foods, send them my way and send them in. There's loads of free content out there. Don't have to join the organic fitness program, but I just want people to know that if you want anybody to improve, I recommend them to listen to either this podcast or just pass it on to one other individual, is what I'd love you to do. And other than that, if you shared it on your social media platforms, that really, really helps me. All right. So I'm going to finish up this podcast, okay, with a virtual high five, because I think everyone needs a virtual high five. Okay. Y'all ready for this? On YouTube, we got the video going. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Get in. All right. Love to end the show with stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.